All right. This video is going to be about the flying knives movement. A lot of people have been saying the flying knives sucks at movement and whatnot, but I honestly think the flying knives are super OP, super good. I think the biggest thing is, nobody knows how to use the flying knives. So I know this video is a little delayed, but go ahead and explain how I use the flying knives to get around. First off, it's very similar to the katana. So remember in the last video, you have the blue movement with katana. If you just do blue movement really quickly, you can dash about 3 times, you run out of stamina. So I talked about doing a half blue and then releasing, right? And you get that extra distance. So the same thing applies here with the flying knives. So the ground movement on flying knives, you want to be able to half blue. That is how you're gonna get around really, really quickly. Right? You don't want to do that weird stutter, like I'm gonna try and, and just don't get anywhere. That's why people are complaining the flying knife sucks, because they're trying to go like this, and they're like confused that they go nowhere. Right? So you see that distance, those 3 dashes, and get anywhere. So let's measure it from here, the stairs, but just do that weird, like go, run out of stamina, I'm gonna get cooked. You don't even make it to the stairs. Right, so with the katana, at least you'll make it stair to stairs, right? Flying knives, that's not the case. So what you want to do with them is do the half blue, okay, and then you're going to linger. Okay, so I'm going to be here. I'm going to do that first LMB attack or horizontal attack to get moving. And once you're moving, half blue. See, I have plenty of stamina. Okay, that's super far, super fast, super clean. Look at the timestamp in the top right. I'm covering a lot of distance just by like doing that. Right. The second thing that you want to know about the flying knives is when you're moving, after you do your left mouse button or your horizontal and you run out of stamina, let's say I burn all my stamina, right? I need stamina. Do your vertical. Okay. Left mouse button, right mouse button. See? I have infinite stamina. So, tell me how this is not broken OP for movement. How does flying knives suck if you can move this fast, this much, not get grapple stunned because you're in an attack animation and you have so much stamina? This is OP. So again, ground movement with the flying knives based on everything I just showed you up until now is very, very OP. The second thing about flying knives is the scale rush is by far the best scale rush in game. Everyone always says dagger fan, whatever, but if you think about dagger movement, right? If you mess up with dagger movement and you run out of stamina, you get cooked. If you mess up and you try to grab something or you try to like scale rush something, and you do this little slash thing, well, you're gonna get cooked because you missed your grab and it just messes you up. Right? With the flying knives, if you miss, look how fast that recovers from the jump horizontal versus the dagger. Your jump horizontal doesn't recover as fast, so you can literally get stuck. An object, or like if I'm trying to get up here and I get stuck, they're gonna cook you. Right? If I try to get stuck here with this flying knife, well, I can recover really fast. Okay, so the recovery on flying knives is faster. The other thing is with the dagger, the airwalk is a little bit more advanced. You basically have to make sure you release that blue. You don't really get the best airwalk. So if I'm going off a building, I'm gonna release this. I'm gonna try and like do something fancy. That's literally as far as I can go. Okay, well, with the flying knives, you airwalk like normal. Right, which is the jump, horizontal, dash, jump, horizontal, dash. So you can go much further with the flying knives than the dagger. Now, the moment of scale rushing, which everyone's talking about, saying, oh, flying knives sucks. Well, look, I'm going to use the dagger here. grabbing right in the middle of this post. I'm going to scale rush this way, right? And I am going to drop a berry. Now, I'm going to go the same thing. I'm going to use the flying knives. Oh, look. I went much further with the dagger. And I'll show you again. Grab the dagger. Here. That's literally where I went. So as you can see, you get like another 2 or 3 bodies distance with the flying knife. Now, if you do that and you pair that with this movement, you can see how far superior this is when you're scale rushing across the terrain. Flying knives is just very, very OP. I don't know why people have say it's not OP, but it is by far favorite weapon in Naraka right now, is because of how OP it is in terms of movement. Now, there are some combos that I've created on my other playlists. So I've created a full-on how do you use the flying knives to fight people combo, and that is a completely different playlist that I'm going to be probably linking in the description here. That way you guys can also see that playlist when you get to watch how to use these flying knives. But yep, that is my video on how to use flying knives. Hopefully you guys learned something about them, and I will be sharing more content the more I learn about Naraka. So, as always, guys enjoy.